DK and GP
Mm,
predictions. What type
okay.
of seasons do we expect from them? So, Big G, first off, if Aaron Rodgers it comes to Pittsburgh, which all signs are pointing to him being the Steelers quarterback next year,
Hmm.
what kind of seasons do you think that DK and GP are going to have?
Well, first of all, if Aaron Rodgers, well, let me say this. I got to back up. As bad as I'm going to crash out with Aaron Rodgers, because I'm telling you, I'm okay. It's on deck. Crashing out is on deck. But the deal is, when you actually look at Aaron Rodgers from a statistical information, he was better in 2024 than he was in 2022. He had a better year. And I think with the weapons of a GP and a DK Metcalf, oh, they could have outstanding seasons. And GP can't mess around and not have an outstanding season because it's his contract year. So he wants his money. So, like, he's going to be listening, being in the spots Rodgers wants him to be in, be ready to catch the ball at all times, make spectacular catches, because we know GP's like a top 10 or 15 talent.
Right.
And I think DK with Rodgers, oh man, you go look at Devontae Adams a few years ago. When Devontae Adams was killing a few years ago, that's how DK gonna look. So does that help the Steelers? Oh, absolutely. Oh, we challenge for the division with Rodgers at quarterback, bro, in my position.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think me and you are kind of on the same wavelength. I mean, look, we like to battle each other and go back and forth, but
Mhm.
we also tell the truth.
Facts.
And the truth is Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. If
Facts.
you don't believe that, then you
Mhm.
just hate Aaron Rodgers and just won't admit it. Now, I'm
Mhm.
not saying that Aaron Rodgers is the savior, the answer to winning a Super Bowl. I'm not saying that at all. But
Mhm.
to act like he can't play quarterback is ridiculous. You
Yeah.
know, I don't like him. I don't like all his off the field stuff. I just it gets on my nerves. He's
Mhm.
already on my nerves and he's not even officially on the team yet.
Yeah.
But I think DK and GP have their best seasons if Rodgers is a quarterback. Because the one thing that I know, Aaron Rodgers, if he comes, he's going to have the cachet.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, when Russell Wilson did what he did against Cincinnati and Arthur Smith was pissed off
Mhm.
because he was doing it his way.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Aaron Rodgers isn't going to hear that. He's not going to
Facts.
listen to that. He's going
Mhm.
to do things his way. You know, he'll follow the offense, but he's going to do things his way. And he's not going to listen to a whole lot of Arthur Smith being mad that he called a bunch of audibles that worked
Mhm.
and opened up the offense. So,
Mhm.
for that point and that point alone, I think those guys are going to have good seasons if Rodgers is the quarterback. If obviously injuries to anybody can derail anything.
Mhm.
But at some point, don't the Steelers, the injury bug, have to be on our side? Like,
Yeah.
it seems like the last 3 or 4 years, the injury bug has not been on our side. At some
Yeah.
point, Big G, don't we have to have that good fortune of the injury bug not affecting our most important player, our most talented guys?
Yeah, it's a law of reciprocity. We're going to have when we have it bad, you're going to have it good. That's how it works. So the issue is with Rodgers, with the young offensive line, with DK, with GP, with Pat Fryermuth, and I'm telling you, Fryermuth going to eat. With Washington will
Mm-hmm.
develop because he's a huge target. Rodgers going to throw it to him. Um, we're going to draft a running back. So Jalen Warren is going to eat. We'll draft a running back. Man, the offense is going to look completely different. So, all those people that hate the idea of Aaron Rodgers being a one-year guy, you might as well get used to it because we're going to have to continue to do this until we get our quarterback. But if we're going to say Aaron Rodgers was our bridge, B,
Right.
oh, sign me up. Sign me up
Right.
today if Aaron Rodgers is my bridge for me. Sign me up.
Right. And I'm already seeing in the chat, people are like, oh, well, he's only going to last 2 games with our O line. Obviously, that's hyperbole and
Mm,
ridiculous comments. But my thing is, do we think that the O line's not going to be better?
mm,
Like, people act like the offensive line is just going to get worse. That's
mm,
not going to happen. I'm not saying they're going to be the best line in football, but
mm,
to act like they're going to be worse is not realistic. I mean,
mm.
it's not realistic. The guys are going to get a little bit better. I don't believe in Pat Meyer, but The line's not going to be better. First of all, there's other players that are going to be playing. So
Mm.
that's number one. And the guys
Facts.
are going to get better. You know, they,
Yeah.
they just will. So
The
it's,
last 5 games, bro, our line was decimated, right? We
yes.
we we need Isaac Selamalo 100% healthy. Mason McCormick's going to improve. Broderick Jones is finally going to be playing the right position, and we didn't see Troy Fautanu last year. So that alone, just that information alone, tells me that we will be better on the offensive line. And listen, if Rodgers needs to really be protective, we can go Big 12 now because we got that big boy from the Los Angeles Chargers to play one tight end and put Mount Washington at the other. Now he's really protected. You got DK and GP on the outside. Be like, okay, stop him. Stop. I mean, that's
Yeah.
if we go Big 12 personnel, we can. One guy's 6'8", 260, the other guy's 6'7", 275.
Yeah.
Those are tackles playing freaking tight end. So
Absolutely.
so we could do that to protect Rodgers if we needed to. So yeah, we're going to be better. We're going to be better offensively for the Pittsburgh Steelers, man.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Mhm.
So DK and GP, let's
Mhm.
just say Mason Rudolph. Say Rodgers retires
Mhm.
and Mason Rudolph happens to be the starting quarterback for the Steelers.
Mm.
I'll go first with this one, Big G.
Mhm.
It's not going to be what Aaron Rodgers brings to the table because Mason Rudolph is not as good as Aaron Rodgers. But I
Facts.
don't think it's going to be horrific.
Mm-mm.
Like I don't think that Mason Rudolph is just a horrific quarterback. I do think he's a career backup. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. I think that's literally what he is. But a lot of people have been talking about bridge quarterback. I don't think Mason Rudolph isn't a bridge quarterback. I think he could do that for a year if he had to.
Mhm.
So I don't think the numbers are going to be quite as good. Um, and Rudolph is kind of a guy. Look, he had some chemistry with George Pickens. If you go back 2 years ago when he came in, he
Yeah.
had chemistry with George Pickens. I
Mhm.
think he's going to pick that up. I think Pickens would actually have better numbers than DK if Rudolph was the quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. And because it's Pickens' year, whether people will realize this or not, Pickens has to do what he has to do in order to get himself a second big time contract. So, all those people that think Pickens is going to keep crashing out and all whatever else, I'm telling you, this year, don't be shocked if all those shenanigans are over. And Mason is comfortable with GP right now, even
Yeah.
before getting the situation up, going with DK. So I think George Pickens might lead him in receiving, but DK still will get the 1,000 plus. So we're still not going to be in a bad spot. And I think that we would still fight for the division with Mason even at quarterback because what's surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I like Mason as the bridge as long as we make the right selection at the quarterback to move into the later on in the season and into 2026, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe the same thing. Um, I think like I said, I think he's got the chemistry. I'm not saying that Mason Rudolph is the world's greatest quarterback because he's not. That's not
Mm-hmm.
true. I
Mm-hmm.
just believe, first of all, he's going to do what they're asking him to do.
Mm.
Now, does he have the best ability? Does he have the best arm? No. The answer to all of that is no.
Mm-hmm.
But he could get the job done. I mean, the Steelers, again, could probably win 9, 10 games if Rudolph is the quarterback. So,
Mm-hmm.
now here's the big questions here. If the Steelers draft the quarterback,
Ooh.
let's
Mm.
start with Jackson Dart. And if he's the quarterback, what does it look like, Big G?
Well, first of all, and B, I'm gonna be honest. If the Steelers do, they should not stay at 21 in drafting. First of all, let me say that. Pittsburgh, if your intention or plan is to draft Jackson Dart, do not stay at pick 21. You have to move backwards. You need to
Yeah.
pick up draft capital. He is not worth the 21st selection in this year's draft.
No.
Right. Now, if Dart is brought in, he's going to sit behind Mason for at least 4 or 5 games. Because, B, Tomlin ain't playing no rookies like
No.
that, especially if it's a dude that he ain't 100% sold on.
That's
He's not
correct.
going to do it. So Dart probably would be on the struggle bus a little bit with the Steelers. But the advantage that Dart would have is that if he's really that guy, you're not going to get a better dynamic duo at wide receiver as coming in as a rookie. I mean, you're going to be throwing the ball to DK Metcalf and freaking George Pickens. So if you can play, we're going to find out quick, fast, and hurry if you can play. Because
Correct.
if you can't play, you're going to look like a bum. So they're going to find out about Jackson Dart. I think if Mason starts the season out, somewhere around week 4, week 5. Maybe if Dart's ready to roll, they're going to push him in there. Maybe even could have to be an injury to Mason for Dart to get in there. But we're going to find out if he's good. I think he's the worst option out of the three if Dart is the quarterback, out of the ones we've already mentioned.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you. First of all, you're right about Dart. He's not going to start right away. Mike Tomlin won't have it unless there's an injury. That ain't happening.
Mm-hmm.
And you say 4 or 5 games. I go even deeper. I say 8 games. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
heck, you think about it. A couple years ago, we drafted Baby Hands, and the only reason he got in was Trubisky got hurt.
that's
I
facts.
mean, that's the only reason he got in. You
That's
know,
facts.
otherwise that wasn't going to happen. Now Trubisky was absolute dumpster juice,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
garbage, garbage, garbage. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, I mean, you draft 20. Trubisky is your quarterback. I mean, nobody thought he was any good,
Yeah,
so that he still didn't start him right away. So we'll see.
facts.
Um, Will Howard, that's a
Mm-hmm.
name that's popped up on boards a lot. If the Steelers take Will Howard, what do you think about Will Howard? Well, I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm super familiar with him. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
I went to K State, do K State
Mm-hmm.
podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
and so I followed him for 4 years. I
Mm-hmm.
think Will Howard's okay. Everybody kept talking about how he was this and that. I mean, his arm is just okay. He's got good athleticism. He's not going to wow you with anything, but he's smart,
Mm-hmm.
and he anticipates throws. He's not the most accurate guy all the time, but he's an okay core. I think he's a career backup in the NFL, kind of like a Mason Rudolph. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he would be okay. My thing about Will Howard is we should get prepared if he had to play, be prepared for a lot of deep balls because he's smart enough to say, you know what, I got Pickens, I got Metcalf, I'm just gonna throw it up and let those guys go make plays on it. He'll do that. He'll give opportunity. The stuff that Russ just wouldn't do with
Mm-hmm.
Pickens, he
Mm-hmm.
will do that. He'll just say, "Hey, man, I know there's a guy down there with you, maybe even 2. I'm throwing it to you because I believe in you. I'll give you a chance." Will Howard will do that.
Yeah. B, I don't disagree, but first of all, let me say, as a Buckeye, we appreciate your deposit that you gave to us this last year to secure that we got our national championship. Thank you for Will Howard. We appreciate the gift because he sure put us over the top. And saying all that, I saw him up front, personal, close, saw what he was able to do, saw him work out at the Woody, saw him do all kind of different things for Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith, DK Metcalf, very similar. You know,
Right.
George Pickens, Carnell Tate, very similar.
Right.
Calvin Austin III, Emeka Buka, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So the offense is set up for him to come to Pittsburgh and be successful. The issue's going to be don't push him or rush him to get him in position to be the starter. Now, if he goes in there and he handles his business in practice, he learns that playbook and he's like reeling it back because he's smart. The kid's super smart. So if he's able to just get it back and he's able to progress, get through his reads in the NFL, and the one thing about him, man, he's huge and he can run. He's like Josh Allen size. Will Howard is a big kid. He's 6'4", 235 or 240 pounds.
He is.
And you can't just knock him down.
No.
So he'll be mobile from the quarterback position and he'll make plays. He'll be a rookie. He'll make rookie mistakes, but the offense or the team is set up very similar to the 2024 Ohio State Buckeyes. So I'm not mad if Will Howard's the quarterback. I'm not mad. I like it, and I'm not being biased. I'm not being a homer. I think Will Howard fits with Pittsburgh.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like Will Howard. I just don't think he's the best option as a
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. I
Mm-hmm.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's fine. I just don't think he's the best option.
What round though, B? What round? I say
You can't take Will Howard anywhere before the 4th round.
fourth. Yeah, fourth.
You
Me too.
can't take him. I mean, it makes zero sense. He's going to be available, and if somebody takes him before that, they're reaching. They're
Yeah,
absolutely reaching.
that's
So,
facts. That's facts.
Quinn Ewers, last one. If Quinn Ewers happens to be the quarterback, I'm out on Quinn Ewers. I don't think Quinn Ewers is very good. As a matter of fact, I don't even think Quinn Ewers is really an NFL quarterback, to be honest with you. I don't. I don't think he is. And there's plenty of guys that get drafted in the NFL that don't happen to be NFL quarterbacks. I mean, heck,
Mhm.
Josh Rosen. Remember Josh Rosen? He was supposed to be the next great quarterback out of UCLA.
Horrible.
He got a job 1 year, and they said, you know what? We're going to take another quarterback with number one the very next year. And in 3 years, he was out of the league.
Mhm.
So Quinn Ewers is going to get drafted. He'll probably be in the league for 3 or 4 years. But that's my personal opinion. I'm not a Ewers fan. And by all means, have him go prove me wrong, because I don't want
Mhm.
anybody not to be able to fulfill their dreams. I just personally don't think he's that good. That's just my take. I watched him a lot at Texas. I mean, a lot of throws that he made were to wide open guys. You didn't ever see him, Big G, pinpoint and throw somebody open or
Yeah.
anything like that. And when
Yeah.
pressure came, he acted like, oh my God, I've never seen pressure in my life. He didn't know how to play quarterback if there was any pressure. So that's just me.
Facts, B. He the first dude I say hell no to. Hell no, I don't want no Quinn Ewers. Look, listen, go back and look at, like you said, when they had to play Georgia, which is stacked up with NFL defensive players. When they had to play Ohio State, that's stacked up with NFL defensive players. Boy, he wasn't doing nothing but throwing wheel routes.
Right.
He could, and a lot of times he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. He was
Yeah.
horrible.
Nope. You're right.
And he panicked with the football. The one thing about the NFL quarterback position, now I've never played quarterback in the NFL, but I know a little something about it, right? Timing and effectively being able to diagnose the defense to figure out where the guy's open is critical. And a wide open window in the NFL is not a wide open window in college football. Window in college
Absolutely
football.
not.
So Ewers is going to hold the ball, and B, you've seen it. We watched tape. He's patting the ball, patting the ball, patting the ball, patting the ball. That's because he don't see it. So that's not going to translate at the next level in NFL, man. NFL, you read it, see it, throw it. Read it, see it, throw it. So, come on, man. I don't want Ewers. I don't think Ewers is worth a first, second, third, fourth. I would maybe in the sixth, maybe, but I'm
Yeah.
not swinging for him. No freaking way, man. No way.
No. No. So, yeah, I just, look, I like him. Um, but at the college level, he was fine. I just don't think he's
Mhm.
going to be a great pro. He could be a backup, but he's more like a Kyle Allen type, if you ask
Mhm.
me. So
Facts.
that's what I think Quinn Ewers. But here's the thing: Kyle Allen's made a good living.
Yeah.
He may never start, but he's made a damn good living playing in the National Football League, being a backup, a third stringer. I mean, that's good money, good work if you can get it. So good
Facts.
for all of those guys, man.
Mhm.
Well, we're at that point in the show where the producer question is going
Mhm.
to come up, ladies and gentlemen. Every week we have our producer on the behind the scenes that puts out all these cool graphics and everything that you all see, and is
Mhm.
responsible for all the graphics on Steelers Almighty. Comes up with a question. It's
Mhm.
always a crazy question. We don't know what the question is. He pops it up there, and he usually not only drives us, but you all mad. Here we go.
Look at this mess.
Wide
This is
receiver expectations reality check. Based on the current quarterback situation, which result would you prefer for the Steelers' top weapons in 2025? A. Pickens has a breakout Pro Bowl season, but Metcalf grows frustrated with targets.
Mhm.
Do you want B? Metcalf becomes the clear wide receiver one, but Pickens continues to be boomer bust and clashes with coaches. I mean, that's nothing new. Or C, both put up solid numbers, 1,000+ yards, but
Mhm.
touchdown numbers are low, less than 4 each.
Can I go first?
You can go first.
Give me B all day and night.
Yeah.
Give me B. I want B all day and night. Because guess what, GP? You can get traded. We can get
Yeah.
you up on out of here quick, bro. We can send you packing.
Yeah.
But if DK blows up, yeah, roll with it. GP has potential. And you know what potential does for you, B.
No.
We got a PG-13 rated show. I can't go there about what potential actually does for you. But give me B. I'll take B. And GP, get in line. You Robin. You ain't Batman, dog. Get in line. Give me B.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like B. I wouldn't mind A, though. Metcalf can grow frustrated with his targets,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't mind A because if Pickens has I mean, look, maybe the Steelers end up signing GP to another contract. We've seen
Mhm,
teams do it before. If we start spending more money on the offense versus the defense, who knows? Got a super
mhm.
chat in here we're going to get to real quick. Jameis could have had 5,000 yards again, 35 TDs, 25 interceptions with DK and GP. Should have been considered for 4 million. Should
Hell
draft
no.
McCord this year regardless. I'm sorry, MC 40 ounce. Jameis Winston is an absolute. The Steelers would have won 3 games. So
Hell no.
if you want numbers, the
Yeah,
25 of those interceptions, 9 of those would have been pick sixes. The Steelers
yeah,
would have won 3 games. Mike Tomlin would have been arrested and in jail for assault on a football field because he would have strangled Jameis Winston for throwing all those interceptions.
yeah,
So no, who cares if he threw for 5,000 yards? Steelers would have won 3 games. Jameis is an absolute bum of a
yeah,
quarterback. Don't bring that up. Don't bring up 30 for 30 no more. Okay? Hell, you're
yeah.
gonna not only we're gonna win 3 games, we're gonna get our damn coach is gonna be incarcerated. No, 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 no to 30 for 30 Winston. No.
Hey man, that boy would have showed up in the locker room and everybody would have been skirted up with black Air Force Ones looking at him real
What,
hard, real hard, looking at him real
what they
hard,
would have
like,
done to him, Big G. They'd have done, remember Full Metal Jacket when they hit old
yeah,
boy with the soap? They'd have wrapped him up in the locker room and everybody would have just busted his ass with soap.
beat the brake shoes off of that boy, beat the brake shoes off of him. Punishment, 'cause, yeah, straight up Full Metal Jacket. Get him out of here, bro.
No, no 30 for 30, man. I'm
Hmm.
out. I'm out. I
Hmm.
can't deal with it. But that's what would have happened. No Jameis Winston's, man. Look, J Boo, 30 for 30. You let him go and be wherever he's at, man. He's fine. He's still in
Yeah.
the league. Look, I love them pregame pep talks. I love all of that. I just don't want it on my team. I
Mm-mm.
can't do 30 for 30 on my team, man. No.
Mm-mm.
No, 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 no.
Facts, bro. I can't. I can't. He's stay over there with the Giants. You and Rusty gonna be a nice little tag team. Stay on over there with the Giants. Sit on over there.
Yeah.
You all right? You'll be good.